On the 23rd of June, the United Kingdom is going to go to the polls and answer an immortal question. Do we prefer Nigel Farage or Jeremy Clarkson? And we're going to do it by answering the following question. Now, this isn't like a general election, in that if we accidentally vote in a man who did unspeakable things with a dead pig's head, in a few years we can vote to replace him with a half-fed vampire, someone who hasn't been told the 70s is over, and, this guy. If we vote out on this, then it's forever. This question will literally change the United Kingdom forever. That's a good question, and one with no easy answer. The important thing to remember is that the UK is essentially Europe's Texas. We're in the Union, but we make a song and dance about being special, and threaten to leave at the drop of a hat. And we've been like this forever, but in recent years the debate has been gaining more and more heat, to the extent that UKIP, the United Kingdom Independence Party, gained over 4 million votes in the latest general election, but only got one MP because we have a first-past-the-post system in this country, and in a bid to take the wind out of their sails and prevent civil war in his own party, pig enthusiast / Prime Minister David Cameron decided to hold a referendum on our membership of the European Union. In 1975 we voted to stay on what was then the European Economic Community of 9 member states with a population of 250 million people. Today it consists of 28 member states, 19 of which share a common currency, and a population of 500 million people. And most importantly, successive treaties since 1975 have seen the European Union transform from a trading arrangement to a fully fledged political union, giving Brussels influence over many other areas of policy. Now, ever since the Maastricht Treaty of 1992, which created the modern EU, there have been those calling for another vote to take into account how things have changed, with Eurosceptics claiming that membership now represents an unacceptable transfer of power from our parliament. It has also been a running sore for the Conservative Party in particular, with many MPs and much of the membership never fully reconciled to our membership. But a long period of economic growth, until the financial crisis of 2008, under 2 pro-EU Labour Prime Ministers, that's Tony Blair and Gordon Brown, gave credence to the idea that being in the EU and its single market was good for Britain's prosperity, and the issue was placed on the back burner for nearly 20 years. In a word, everything. Mr Cameron and the political class in general underestimated the groundswell of public resentment caused by the influx of European migrants to the country since the accession of Eastern European countries in the early 2000s. To begin with, Eastern European plumbers, builders, waitresses and bar staff were generally welcomed, but the financial crash of 2008 and the fall in living standards, it resulted in stoked resentments which politicians from all 3 major parties were too slow to recognise and respond to. Into this vacuum stepped Nigel Farage and UKIP. In the 2010 general election, the party polled at around 3%, just 1% more than they had done 5 years before. But by 2012, UKIP's fortunes had been transformed, and some surveys suggested the party was being supported by up to 15% of the electorate. Now, for Tory MPs facing re-election, this looked really ominous. They were worried not that UKIP would take their seats, but they would take enough of their votes to hand victory to Labour. In private, and sometimes in public, they demanded that the Prime Minister give them something in their armoury to fight off this challenge, and that something was an EU referendum. This would allow Tory candidates to go into the 2015 general election able to assure their own anti-European supporters that only a vote for the Conservatives would give them a chance to have a definitive say over Britain's future in Europe. And so in January 2013, David Cameron made his fateful pledge of an in-out referendum if the Conservatives won the 2015 election. Which they did, to the surprise of pretty much everyone. Hell, even the Conservatives didn't think they were going to win. But they did, and we got to today. The debate on both sides has sunk to a level that makes the Republican debate look dignified. The absence of facts from both sides has been so complete that many people I know feel confused, scared and disorientated. Instead of facts, both sides have basically produced manifesto pledges, and both have claimed if we don't vote for them then we will get years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes, the dead rising from the grave, human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria! So I'm going to make 3 more videos on the subject. What will happen if we stay, according to Brexit? What will happen if we leave, according to Remain? And then a video that I'll release on the day explaining which way I'm planning to vote. Because on this question, my country depends. And I don't know how to answer it. I'm Daniel. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe.